Good morning to everyone. I am Marie Shaira Wong, and to continue the topic, I will be presenting the challenges and possible solutions for effective civic education in the Philippines. So, civic education, as discussed earlier, teaches us about how our country's political system works. So, in this, we learn what our rights and duties are as citizens and how to take part in the decision making process. Successful democracies depend on the active participation of informed citizens. Civic education aims to inform and empower citizens to fulfill this role. So, the purpose of civic education is to encourage and empower us to understand our political environment and to actively participate in democratic processes. And this is why civic education is also known as citizen education or democracy education. So, in the Philippine education system, civic education is crucial to help develop citizens who are aware of their roles and responsibilities in society. However, there are still challenges that need to be addressed to ensure the effectiveness of civic education in the country's education system. So, first of the challenges is the content and delivery gaps in civic education programs. So, in a knowledge sharing forum on the theme Capacitating and Investing in the Youth for a Productive and Resilient Future, organized by the Philippine Institute for Development Studies through its socio-economic research portal for the Philippines Initiative noong August 2022, a professor from De La Salle University named Francisco Magno talked about the need to improve civic education in the country. So, ayon sa kanya, mayroon daw gaps sa content and delivery of civic education programs in both junior high and senior high schools. So ayon kay Prof. Magno, sa junior high school ay mayroong iba't ibang civic education modules, but some schools have no co-curricular activities or those that are considered essential for learning and development. Sa senior high school naman daw ay mayroong kakulangan sa extensive civic education. So the core subject only covers 8 hours at ang karamihan ng discussion ay nakapokus pa sa culture and society. And dito, hindi na gaanong na-emphasize ang pagtuturo patungkol sa topics about citizenship. Kaya nga ayon din kay Prof. Magno, if the SHS students do not go to the humanities and social sciences strand, this would be their last exposure to civic education. So, to address these gaps, Dr. Magno suggested that there should be co-curricular modules and training manuals for both junior high and senior high schools. And doon naman sa issue na kulang yung pagtuturo sa topics concerning citizenship, Magno said that it would help if civic engagement subjects could be added to all SHS strands. Ayon pa sa kanya, teachers and facilitators should also be equipped through training and workshops. He also recommended building strong partnerships between schools and NGOs sa pagdeliver ng civic education programs. So the next challenge is limited training opportunities in civic education for teachers. So according to Dr. Alex Brillantes sa 2023 Civic Education Summit na isinagawa ng Youth-Led or the Youth Leadership for Democracy, teachers in the last 5 years have not attended any training activities or workshops specific to civic education. So ayon sa meeting na ito, yung lack of training opportunities daw can lead to teachers feeling unprepared to effectively teach civic education to their students. Ayon pa rito, karamihan daw sa mga guro ay hindi na gaanong naipaprioritize ang civic education due to a lack of understanding of its importance or a focus on other subjects that are given more weight in the curriculum. As a result, students may not receive a comprehensive education sa kanilang roles and responsibilities as citizens, which can hinder the development of a strong and a more active democratic society. So, to address this issue, mahalaga na i-prioritize ng ating gobyerno at ng mga educational institution na mag-invest sa training opportunities concerning civic education para sa ating mga guro. So, this can include workshops, seminars, and professional development programs to ensure that teachers have the necessary skills and knowledge to effectively teach civic education. Additionally, providing resources such as lesson plans and teaching materials can also support teacher sa pag-deliver ng high-quality civic education sa kanilang mga mag-aaral. So, by investing in the training and resources for teachers, our country can help ensure that the students will receive a more comprehensive civic education. So, the next challenge is the lack of student interest and concern for civic engagement. So, while current events are discussed in the classroom, teachers still perceive the majority of the students to lack interest in and concern for their community and society. So, this lack of interest and concern can be attributed to a variety of factors, including a lack of understanding sa relevance ng civic education sa kanilang daily lives and a lack of exposure to real-world issues and problems. So, according din sa naging assessment ng 2023 Civic Education Summit, gender, mental health, and environment are the main issues deemed more important by the students. So, to handle this issue, it is important for educators to find creative and engaging ways to teach civic education, katulad ng pagkandak ng mas hands-on activities like conducting community service projects at ang pagpapalalim sa mga discussion about current events na kinaharap ng bansa. So, sa pamamagitan ng mga ito, matutulungan ng mga guro ang kanilang mag-aaral na magkaroon ng mas malawak at mas malalim na pag-unawa sa kanilang roles and responsibilities as citizen ng bansa at makakatulong din ito upang mas ma-encourage nila yung mga mag-aaral to become more engaged and active members ng kanilang communities and ng society as a whole. So next is the lack of sufficient resources for civic education. So ayon pa sa naging usapan sa 2023 Civic Education Summit, insufficient learning and resource materials katulad ng textbooks and modules are two of the main challenges in teaching civic education to the students. So according to this summit, senior high school teachers do not have any depth ed prescribed modules or other learning materials. Ayon naman sa mga junior high school teachers, kulang raw ang karamihan sa explanations, examples, and activities ng mga DepEd issued learning material. Kaya naman karamihan sa mga guro ay nagre-rely na lamang sa internet para sa kanilang additional learning at sa mga resource materials na ginagamit nila sa pagtuturo sa kanilang mga mag-aaral. Furthermore, budget cuts and a lack of government support for civic education have also contributed to the shortage of resources. So, this means that teachers are often left to their own devices in finding ways to teach civic education effectively. Bilang resulta, marami sa mga mag-aaral ang hindi nagkakaroon ng mas malawak na pag-unawa patungkol sa civic education, which can have a long-term consequence for their engagement and participation in the democracy. So, to help address this issue, the government and educational institutions must place a high priority on civic education and allocate sufficient resources to ensure that all students have access to high quality learning materials and opportunities. So, with the right resources and teaching methods, we can help create a more informed and responsible citizenry, leading to a more stronger democracy. So, the next is the politicization of education. So, education in the Philippines is often politicized, with political interests influencing the curriculum and instruction. So, for example, politicians have a significant impact on how much funding schools receive, which could impact the available resources for teachers and the students. So they can also have an impact on the testing and assessment practices and set standards for the materials presented or the materials being taught in the classrooms. So, this hinders the development of critical thinking and active citizenship among the students. So, itong politicization of education can also lead to biased and incomplete information being taught in schools na mas nakakapagpamalagi ng social issues katulad ng discrimination and inequality. So, um, that is why efficient efforts must be made to ensure that education remains independent of political influence and places an emphasis sa holistic development ng students. So, educators and governments must also concentrate on impartial, comprehensive education that fosters critical thinking and an engaged citizenry. So, this can be achieved sa pamamagitan ng pag-incorporate ng diverse perspectives and sa pag-promote ng mas open and mas respectful dialogue sa loob ng classrooms at ng mga iba pang educational institution. So, for example, schools can invite guest speakers from different backgrounds to share their experiences and perspectives, or they can organize community service projects that help address local social issues. Bukod pa rito, maaari ring tumulong ang mga teacher at educator para mas ma-encourage nila ang kanilang mag-aaral to participate in activities that promote community service and civic engagement, katulad ng pag-volunteer sa mga local non-profit organizations or participate in advocacy efforts for social issues. So the last one is poverty. So poverty remains to be a barrier to effective teaching of civic education. So ayon sa naging usapan pa sa 2023 Civic Education Summit, students in highly urbanized cities and first-class municipalities are mas vocal sa pag-express ng kanilang thoughts and opinions. And they are also more active in extracurricular activities compared doon sa students coming from the lower income municipalities and indigenous people communities. And this is because itong mga individual na ito ay mas nakafocus on meeting their basic needs, making it difficult for them to help others or engage themselves in active citizenry. So ayon sa isang pag-aaral na pinamagatang Reframing Citizenship Education in the Philippines, a 21st Century Imperative by Jean Jane Monroy Aderlo, sa Pilipinas, it can be challenging daw to teach critical literacy, especially when many young Filipinos live in poverty. Ika nga nila'y mahirap magturo sa estudyanteng kumakalam ang sikmura. However, service learning can play a crucial role in changing this perspective. So, according to Reed and Butler, service learning allows students to see themselves as active participants in giving back rather than just receiving help. In fact, many students who have experienced poverty themselves are more likely to understand and empathize with the struggles faced by others. So para ma-achieve yung civic outcomes of critical service learning, both government institutions and non-governmental organizations need to implement practical solutions to address or to help address poverty, which is a prevalent issue in the Philippines ever since. So this is important because studies show that many Filipino youth are passionate about making a positive impact on society, but are unsure of how to do so. So, by witnessing collaborative efforts from different sectors of society in addressing social issues, Filipino youth can be motivated to create positive change through service learning. According pa sa study na to, this shift in perspective can transform the challenge of poverty into an opportunity for personal growth and social transformation. So for example, yung mga service learning program sa mga low-income municipality sa ating bansa could involve students working with a local organization to provide, for example, school supplies or mga educational support sa mga underserved children doon sa kanilang community. So through this experience, students may develop a greater understanding sa mga challenges faced by their peers and become more motivated to create a positive change within their own communities. And this can also lead to increased engagement in extracurricular activities that focus on community service and civic engagement. So, in conclusion, education plays a crucial role in shaping political participation and citizenship in the Philippines. And it is through education that individuals learn about their rights and responsibilities as citizens and are equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to engage in civic activities. Subalit, marami pa rin yung mga pagsubok or challenges na kailangan i-address to ensure that civic education is effective and inclusive for all. Kaya naman mahalaga talaga na mai-prioritize ang training ng education ng educators and teachers at ang pagbibigay ng sapat na mga material and resources for civic education. In addition, the content and delivery of civic education programs must also be enhanced to better the needs of diverse learners, including those with disabilities and those from marginalized communities. So, by addressing these gaps and challenges, education in the Philippines can become a powerful tool for promoting democracy, social justice, and inclusive citizenship. And in the end, it is the responsibility of us, including all stakeholders, educators, policymakers, and the civil society organizations, to ensure that civic education is accessible, relevant, and effective in empowering individuals to participate completely in the country's political life. So that's all po for our presentation, and these are my references. Thank you po for listening.